handle it.
Let's just start it off with just talking about how this opportunity came up, just sort of the timeline of how you're here.
Well, time has gone kind of fast in the last few weeks, but Jill reached out probably a week or so ago. I had reached out to her previously just to check in. We check in every once in a while. We got to know each other in the 2015 World Cup run when they won. I went to Vancouver and saw them in the final. So checked in. She sent me a message and said, hey, we're in the process of looking for a new coach. Are there any names you know might recommend? And I thought about it for a little bit. I didn't respond for a few hours, and I talked to my wife and I said, that could be interesting. And so I sent Jill a message back and said, there's some people I could think of, but I would also be interested if you want to have that conversation. And she called and we started the process.
So you've observed training now for one day. What were some of your first impressions, first thoughts?
I got really excited watching. There's a lot of good qualities with a lot of the players. There's some pretty bad habits that we can break pretty quickly, which is exciting for me. And I think there's a willingness and an excitement by all of these women to probably have a fresh start and get going and push towards a really good end of the season.
What was it that surprised you so much?
The ability to, well, there was a lot. There was the ability to see the field the way that I'm used to players of a high level seeing the field. There was the ability to pick passes out that I didn't necessarily think. This is very similar actually to when I started with Loyal. Pick out passes that I didn't think they were capable of. A few of the plays and goals that were scored were very, very high level. And I guess when you watch any game on TV, I tell people all the time, watching soccer on TV versus seeing it in person, it's a totally different sport. And when you see it up close with your own eyes, you realize how good these girls are. And so it was really fun to watch and got me really excited.
Kind of going back to when the opportunity first came about and Jill agreed, what were those initial emotions of like, wow, this opportunity is what to me, means what?
I know myself well, so when I do something, anything, I'm all in, all in, all in. My wife loves it about me and hates it about me, but she knows I'm all in. So I spent a couple weeks really digging deep emotionally to make sure I was ready for this, speaking to a lot of people about women's game versus the men's game. Are there differences? How can I appropriately navigate that? Because it's not a world I know well. In the end, everyone said they're just soccer players, so you're going to be fine. I took a lot of time making sure that I was ready for this and wanting to do it, because now that I'm here, I want to be successful. Everything I've done in my life, I've succeeded at because I go all in. So once I get there, I'm all in. But the conversations and the sort of path of this was a little bit slow with Jill and making sure that we were both aligned and we both really wanted this. But once we did, we said, okay, let's go do it.
What would you say is your approach now with the remainder of the season? We're a few points off from the playoff line, but we've got CONCACAF. We've had about a third of a season left. So what's your approach now?
So the challenge is I've never started halfway through a season. So that I'm aware of that and I understand the challenges involved with that. You don't have a preseason to get the team playing the way you want. So the challenge will be, how do we get results while starting to build the way I want the team to play? And that will be tricky, but I think they're up for it. One thing that was very clear to me when I was watching training, how engaged they were with the coaches, with Paul, and it looks like they're eager and desperate to learn and succeed and do well. And so that's a great starting point to have. So for me, I'm excited by that. This is going to be a completely different way of playing than I think any of them have ever played, but I think they'll be excited about that, and I know they will enjoy it a lot.
What do you take from your playing experience as a coach? You had several years with the Loyal and here now, but when you made that transition from player to coach, what did you take from your playing experience?
So I view this job in three roles: managing people, situations, anything that can happen. Coaching, which is getting the team to do what you want it to do as a whole and lead it in the right direction, and then teaching. And I think people forget about teaching a lot in this role. I love teaching. My grandma, mom, and sister were all teachers, are teachers. So teaching's in my blood. The individual parts of what I did as a player, I pass on to the players in quick little tidbits and quick little moments, and I can help them in that way. What I've really improved at since I first started coaching was the coaching part of getting the team to do what I want it to do. Most of my career I was a captain or a leader, so I'm used to managing people and understanding how people work and operate. It's different in a team environment when you're managing a whole team, but I got pretty good at that with Loyal too. So I feel confident now that all three aspects I can handle. Obviously you can't do it alone, you need people around you who help do that, but I'm really excited to help individually each player get better and be the best they can, and then get the team moving in a right direction.
You've been in San Diego for a couple years and have seen the evolution of the Wave and the fan base. How have you seen that fan base grow and the passion for this team in such a short amount of time?
The Wave have quickly grabbed this city and entertained the city and become, I think, an institution in a short period of time in this city. So I'm excited to be part of it. I love this sport. I've been involved in every single level of this sport except on the women's side, and so now I get to do that as well. And I love this city. I love this community. I've spent 9 years now helping soccer grow here, and this is the next step.
Players are going to enjoy the style of play, but what can fans expect, without you revealing too much of tactics, but what can fans expect for the style of play that they're going to see?
Yeah, it's hard to explain in a minute soundbite what it's going to look like. I would encourage people, if they can, go watch a San Diego Loyal game from the past, find some video and watch a few games, and you'll understand quickly what we're about. The way the game is going to look eventually is us dominating the game with the ball and having control of the game in the way we want it to look. So it's not, we don't walk out on the field and roll the dice or flip a coin and see who's going to win that day. We go out on the field with a really clear identity as to how we're going to play. And every year with the Loyal, in 4 years, out of 24 teams, we were first and second in possession percentage, passes completed, goals scored, expected goals scored, entries into the final third, entries into the penalty area. So I can talk about it all day, but the best way is for people to watch, and then it will not be immediate. It's going to take time here, but over time you'll see that we'll start to play that way too, and it's really fun to watch.
Speaking about the roster specifically, we like to think we have the best goalkeeper in the world, we have the best defender in the world, Naomi Girma, some of the best attackers in the world, and legends like Alex Morgan, the best left foot, Maria Sanchez. Just as you look at the roster, like, how do you view the strengths of the team and what can help this team win?
So when I started this process with Jill, I started going through the roster, watching a lot of film on each player. And the way I like to play, you need a few things. You need center backs who can play with who can play really high up the field and deal with 1v1, 2v2 situations. There's literally not a center back in the world I could pick out that would be better than Naomi. So that's a great starting point. I think Kaylin is probably, along with Alyssa Nair, the best goalkeeper in the world. And she's also very comfortable playing high and playing with her feet. And that is a big part of what I like to do. Lots of talented, what I call number 10s through the middle of the field, with Jaden, with Mel, with Maria, with Em in there, with Sav. So lots of good, talented players in there. And then, haven't even seen Delphine yet. And that'll be exciting to have her there. Alex speaks for herself. Her career speaks for herself. I'm excited to get her going again this year. I know she still has it in there, and I'm excited to help her achieve that. I've been through tough stretches. I've been cut by a national team before a World Cup, so I feel her pain in that way, and I know it's hard. But I'm excited to see her finish these, last few years, to see what she's still capable of, because she's been a legend in this sport and she's meant so much to this game.